Recently, there has been a spate of vitriol directed at young people, especially young women, especially students like Greta Thunberg from Sweden, who are skipping school in order to protest against climate change, global warming. And these mainly middle aged and very much right-leaning individuals, generally men, have been really angry about these young people leaving school to protest. And I don't believe that most people and the pundits out there and the media are getting it right when they struggle to understand why these guys are so upset. And I've been banging on this drum for a long time, and I've made a few videos about it. And what I've realized is that people don't like reading terribly much. And so all the blog posts that I've put up aren't getting a lot of attention, but the videos are. And so what I'm going to do to get my thoughts out there, because I think better when I write things down more clearly and more succinctly, is that I'm just going to read the posts and ad lib in parts where I think it's necessary. So this one is titled, Why Middle-Aged Right-Leaning Men Really Hate Teenage Activists. Regarding the good people who instinctively react to climate change protests with anger and disgust, saying they should be grateful for what society has given them and get back in school, I think it's unfair to criticize people who feel this way, in large part because they don't employ any rationalizations. Their responses are just a reflection of their emotional gut reactions. They are merely expressing what the hard wiring in their brains feel. In their minds, there is no well-considered evaluation of facts or policies that they have worked out, that have worked or have failed. There's just a feeling that people who protest are not good, worthwhile members of society. Rebels, in other words. Why do their brains react this way? Because they're wired to believe that the only road to hoe is to follow the dictates of what has traditionally worked, that is the status quo, and follow the dictates of what they consider to be a strong leader. That would be any populist who reinforces what their brain wiring insists is right, even if the populist is a dictator who implements policies that are demonstrably not in the best interests of his voters and manipulates them in order to become a totalitarian, to become a king. These people feel that law and order and protecting traditional values far outweighs some difficult to understand long-term outcomes that will necessitate changing the way we've all been doing things for as long as they can remember. These folks are not rational actors. They're just easily manipulated dupes that the democratic system relies upon to help swing voters in the two-party system, which is really just one party, back and forth from left to right, from Democrat to Republican, from liberal to conservative. Let's remember that there are an equal number of these intractable, consistent, knee-jerk reactors on the left as there are on the right. What is common to both is an inability to deal with complex problems that require an open mind and an ability to process many things at once. Their intractable brain wiring is not their fault, but due to the Dunning-Kruger effect, they strongly believe that they are quite clever and rational, so there's really zero point in us trying to argue the facts with them. They simply are incapable of grasping, let alone processing, the complexity that is required. I think you get what I'm getting at in terms of IQ. My advice to anybody who is tempted to rationalize with these guys is to move on and find the centrists out there who are capable of evaluation and debate. Now, when I say centrists, I am not talking about the libertarians who tend to vote for the right. The libertarians, tend to be way too clever to understand that the low IQers, who make up the 30% of the population at each end of the left-right spectrum, will never be capable of handling the responsibility for being good actors that comes with a libertarian, freely determined society. Keep in mind that it is the swing voters, not the diehard lefties or righties, who decide the outcome of any democratic election. So if you get something out of these little blurbs that I do and they open up your mind and make you think, it's kind of interesting, then please do me a favor and like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps to bring my numbers up. And if you're super inspired, please go to patreon.com and look up the Madman Rants and buy me a beer. I'd really appreciate it. And it will provide me with enough money to get non-reflective glasses down the road. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll watch some more of my videos.